Okay, so grand finals, set number 1, game number 3. You can see based on the names here, Sugden is on the winner's side of grand finals. The Swarm is on loser's side, which means if Swarm wins this, we will have a grand finals set to determine the true winner. But if Sugden wins, the tournament is over. Sugden will get first place, and England walks out of here with the trophy.
Rav boot start.
Well, for now.
Love to see that.
So I'm not sure why exactly Sugden had problems with the Richter section. I missed that, but Swarm has a pretty decent lead, all things considered, early on here. That can change quickly, but these two are so evenly matched, I think every second's gonna count.
Oh, Sword Lords, that's a fairly easy farm.
Nice quick grab from Sugden. That has gone from TAS only to only a couple people even consider doing it to now it's pretty standard. You see most players go for that at least a couple of times every set to save a few seconds. Very cool new tech for this game.
It's definitely really cool. I like that trick a lot.
Now let me ask you, Cryo.
Yes.
Who's got this one? If you had to put money on it, who would be your favorite for game 3?
Well, according to the coin that I flipped to see who I was going to bet on, it was Sugden. But Swarm has really been surprising a lot of people with his gameplay, and I'd love to see Swarm at least make it reset the bracket.
To recap some of the narratives going on at the end of the tournament here. On the one hand, the Swarm is the reigning randomizer champion. And considering how randomizers are always going to have a certain amount of variability, and considering just how good everyone is getting at this game, it is so tough to win a single tournament, let alone going back-to-back, which would be incredibly impressive. So for Swarm side, trying to get the repeat. For Sugden, this is Sugden's first ever tournament. Prodigy player out of England. Would be a great win, and might even, fingers crossed, get us some more players from that part of the world. Maybe inspire more people from England to pick up the rando. This really is the best time to get into this game, so I'm hoping the tournament will generate some more interest. We got practice tools. We got a whole bunch, what is it, like 30 presets right now? Just so many ways to play this game.
And currently even more being worked on.
So at the moment, we've got Jewel and Gravity Boots, both layer 1. Another card.
Another card. Frozen half. Well, I mean, they just got Jewel of Open, so...
Now, Frozen half is the enemy all the way up near Galamoth. So this is going to end up being a pretty deep seed, probably.
I was thinking of Frozen Shade for a second, but yeah, no, Frozen Halves, still not the hardest farm. There's not many of them either.
Yeah, they're exclusive to that one area, the floating catacombs. So both players will have to make the trip. In the meantime, a couple of shout-outs in the chat. First of all, thank you Zangetsu for the full half year of support. Appreciate the 6 months. Also a question, where can you find the practice tools for this game? Great question. Let me go ahead and link the Long Library Discord. The tool I have in mind was developed by Mott. You can start a new file with a full inventory from any area in the game. Very easy to set up. Makes practice a breeze.
Oh, now they got flight. Well, now Swarm has flight, but Sugden's going to get it in a second.
Don't forget to close predictions. Oh, no. We keep the predictions open here, even in the middle of the game. Makes things more exciting. I have complete respect for people who just put the points down immediately. But it's almost like a game of chicken. How long are you willing to wait to get the best odds possible? Right now, it looks about 50-50. The chat thinks these players are about evenly matched.
Nice use of the dive kick to kill the Axe Knights faster than using the sword. Oh, nothing there. That's never fun to see.
Now I'm curious, this is a chance, Cryo, of being the very final Bounty Hunter sets. Do you think it'll end on a Bounty Hunter note? By which I mean, Random Vlad wins the race and wins the tournament for somebody. Will we see a random drop today?
I mean, one of the most recent ones I commentated was decided because of a random Chris drop. And, you know, that's the essence of, you know, a luck-based, but also, you know, intellect-based or preset. You have to think about when's the best time to do this farm. You have to think about what way to change your route. So I think that would be poetic if it came down to that, you know?
Yeah, the Chrysogrim drop you're talking about is a good example of how, not just for Bounty Hunter, but any preset is going to entail a lot of luck. You know, I have seen lycanthrope and casual tournaments also decided by weapon drops, item drops, money drops. Normally it has more to do with the Vlads, but yeah, in that case, having a better weapon made a huge difference.
Yeah, and then one thing we just were able to see that we know the Skellorangs can't have a Vlad because they drop both of their Vlads.
What do you mean they drop both their items?
Resist ice. One dropped the mace, one dropped an ice potion.
Yeah, once you see two unique drops from an enemy, you know that one can't have a Vlad, which is something the runners have been keeping in mind throughout the bracket. It's a cool little advanced trick. But if you're like me and your memory is bad because you're an old man, that can be tough to keep track of.
And now we know that the Blade Soldiers also can't have it. Barrel Circlet and Axe Lord Shield. Going up.
A lot of Mana Prism drops here. Oh my god, another one. So no way to access the Ulrox fight, so it's going to be Zorlo instead. Have to come back later.
As much Zorlo has a transformation.
J.
Oh, no,
quick grab J. That's a fancy J for Swarm. Saves 1 second every time you get that trick.
So, judging by where Sugden is going, I think we're going to get to see the Sword Lord farm.
Yeah, it's interesting. Which of these routes do you prefer here, Cryo? Small divergence here.
Honestly, I do like Swarms on this one because if you ever have to come back this way... Oh, wow, Holy Glasses. That's definitely required. It's nice to have already opened this, and you're going to end up in the same place. And if you're going to go for the farm, might as well just go backwards and stay in the clockwise route instead of going counterclockwise. Because it gives you the Zorlo check, opens the shortcut, and clears a boss that could impede your speed later. That's just my thought process, at least.
Let's see, does Sugden want to do this now? Or come back later with better weapons, maybe a second Arcana? You'll definitely kill the ones on the way, but as far as sticking around for
I
a
don't
full
think he
farm,
equips his
I don't
Ring
know.
of Ares. He has a Ring of Ares drop. I think it was Sugden that got it.
Alright, and he's saying that's good enough. Now, you gotta be a little bit careful. Defense is probably at or near 0. This could set the tone earlier. This is a good farm. It'll be a nice little advantage for Sugden. If it's a bad one, though, might have to make some gambles. In a way, I kind of like doing this sort of farm early, because it gives you options. Depending on how it goes, you can reroute certain things.
The chickens tried, the chickens failed. Oh, there's the heart.
Not bad. Pretty average. Maybe slightly above average.
Echo.
Interesting. So Swarm is not going to continue clockwise. Instead, where are we going here?
Maybe gonna go down to... Oh yeah, maybe...
Yeah, so this tells me Swarm is saving the farm for later, which I think is a fine call. Oh!
Oh, he's gonna get it right there.
Well, Sugden was kind of lucky. Swarm was very lucky. So far, Swarm with the luck advantage. That was insane.
That's the third one he's killed. Because he killed one going up, he killed one coming back down. So yeah, he got it in 3. That's insane.
You know, I've been very disappointed in my boy Phantom Skull. For the first like 70% of bracket, we were having Phantom Skull like every other game. The clear front runner for having the most Vlads. But since then, Phantom Skull's been on kind of a cold streak. And I don't know if it's Phantom Skull or Shmoo might have actually overtaken him for having the most Vlads this tournament. So I'm hoping today, maybe we'll get a comeback.
Phantom Skull dropped a Strength Potion and a Shaman Shield.
Oh, it's over then. Another day, another Phantom Skull L. Thank you, Cryo. I only saw the Strength Potion. It's too bad.
So I think we're going to see them go down. Or are we going to see an immediate second castle play?
Whoa! All right, let's do a quick complexity count here. What's the chain here, Cryo, at the moment?
Okay, so we know that at layer 1 was Jewel of Open and it was Jewel of Open and Gravity Boots. Then we saw Leapstone at layer 2, and quite possibly layer 3 is going to be a transformation or possibly something flight locked. Because we did see Echo of Bat that was also flight locked.
Yeah, so Holy Glass is 3, means everything in Castle 2 will be 4. Except for, I guess, Mummy, which is transformation locked. This is a huge divergence. This right here could actually determine the fate of the tournament. A big moment. I don't know, I think Sugden's route is probably a little bit more traditional. You know, get these Relatively easy checks in caverns get more info, even if Jewel is not necessarily in the chain. Maybe you get some cards on the way, maybe you get bats, who knows. But, Swarm keeping it aggressive. If he can stay alive, this could pay out big.
Yeah, if he gets a transformation like Bat here, then we know Layer 5 is back after that. As you know, it could be any number of things. So this gamble is a big one, but could pay off absolutely massively.
If you're Swarm, this is potentially your final game of the bracket. If not now, then when? Now is the time.
And yeah, Yorick's giving him like super experience because, you know, second castle enemy. So yeah, each one was a level up, so that'll help significantly.
Good call. In the meanwhile, Sugden ending up with nothing from Succubus.
I mean, Gas Cloud is not nothing. I do like that item.
Fair enough. It's good for farms. Nothing immediately useful. How about that?
Yes, that I can agree to. So, what does Darkwing Bat have? He wanted to get dangerous, and he failed.
Ooh, already paying
off.
Oh,
man.
Already paying off. If you're Swarm, you could go right back right now, if you want.
Because you could always reverse library card back from wherever you need to. That's insane. Although we might see, you know, up to the teleporter, or at least the teleporter before you go back.
Oh, random card here for Sugden. Okay, both players getting stuff. I didn't see what that was.
He did that so quickly. I did not either.
Chat, we're gonna need some help here. Sugden's speed reading is out of control.
And he's got heart, so he doesn't even really need to kill these yet. But levels, and the one drops shield potion.
Okay, apparently it was Diplocephalus, the enemy in the long hallway in Castle 1. Thank you, chat.
Okay, Tombstones can't have it. All right, Medusa, what do you have?
Ooh.
A Ring of Arcana.
Ooh. That's good.
Very, very big. Yep, and he's going right back to first castle after that. I like that.
This might actually be a Medusa left side here. Hang on. I saw that crouch beforehand. Let's take a look. Creatures coming up next.
Yeah, with no fast movement, this actually can be extremely dangerous.
Certainly a bold route here from Swarm. Oh my god! Careful. Oh my god! Oh my god! Like we said, very dangerous. Okay.
Yeah, just get off the screen. Safe thing. Get off the screen. More breathing room. Ow. Everything in second castle does a lot of damage, and with how early he's in second castle, it does not help the matter.
Look at how bad Soten's dive kick is. I'm glad we're getting a chance to see this be relevant in grand finals. Swarm was scammed like 5 times on dive kicks. It is unacceptable how bad it is in this game. It's just such a shame. Anyway.
Yeah, the hurt box on it is just too big. Rib of Vlad on a Solomon.
Oh my god, no way. Well, if you're rooting for Swarm to bring this to a second set, that card's got to come ASAP. If it's complexity random drop for Sugden on Salem Witch, that might be a GG.
there's another library card. And those are enemies that usually are mildly irritating to try to kill, so... And for those who didn't know, the Paranthropus big skeletons, you can land on their head.
It's true, they're both an enemy and a platform. See, on the one hand, if you're Swarm, you're feeling pretty good about this route, I think. You've survived, you've got a lot of levels, and you found Merman. But if Merman leads to, for example, Rib Card, Sugden's not going to care. It doesn't matter at all. However, besides that and the Ring card, Sugden has not found much either. No Bat.
I mean, he did
no
the
miss,
best thing
yeah,
he found so
no
far
miss.
was the Arcana, the second Arcana.
No, that was Swarm that
Honestly.
found that one.
Oh, Swarm. Oh, so yeah, okay. Ow. My apologies. Too many S names. For how dangerous the second castle is, Swarm's really moving nicely through it.
Moving with confidence.
Nothing wrong with that. Spike breaker.
Good. That'll allow Sugden to get Spike Breaker check early and relatively easily. That one's also a candidate for the complexity card. So for example, if Sugden finds the complexity card at Spike Breaker and its Tooth, Sugden is going to be the prohibitive favorite. If it's the Rib card, probably about even, maybe Swarm with a slight lead. If it's nothing and Merman is required, I think Swarm's going to be ahead, but hard to say.
See, this is the kind of race I like to see. This is the possibilities of what could be what and where is, it's just exciting.
That's, well, I'm not sure. Is this good or bad for Swarm, finding the Rib card? I mean, it's certainly not bad to get a card. But that means Tooth is going to be complexity.
So it depends on who gets where, I can English. It depends on where that complexity Vlad card is.
Yeah, exactly. That
So,
location
like-
could determine the tournament, yeah? Wait a minute. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Is Sugden not gonna go to Spike Breaker location first?
He might be safe splitting it because if it's not something useful, you can just, you're right where you want to be. Ow, he's getting juggled by
So it's not gonna be a safe split, he's just going to Castle 2. Now this is actually okay for Sugden. Sugden's gonna get early Merman and might just go right back down.
ooh, a Mournblade. Definitely worth equipping.
There's Mist, okay. So now Swarm's got a whole lot of options for that final card. Could be Merman. If it's Mist, Swarm has got a huge lead now.
Another Mournblade. So now you could have one in each hand and only use one at a time.
Also, thank you very much, Viv, for the raid. Hope you had a good stream today. Yeah, Cryo, this is one of those races that's just so hard to read because the routes have been so different. Anybody's game right now.
Blue Venus Weed was a good way to heal. Also, combat edge now to Swarm. Yeah, I'm about to say, you're going a very dangerous route. You save. I would very heavily recommend you save.
Another big moment coming up. Will Sugden go right back to Castle 1 after picking up Merman? No, is gonna remain. Okay, that could have been a knockout play. If, for example, Tooth of Vlad was at the J location, but I think this is the right call statistically. There are a lot of relics that could lead to the final card, so if you're Sugden, it makes sense to stay in Castle 2. I think this is good for Swarm,
and
though.
then, of course, yes, Swarm is also going for the frozen half bar. That was a good death one. Also, having that Mournblades giving him that health is making the dangerous fights a little less dangerous.
It's a great weapon. Very comfortable weapon to use. There's Wolf, okay. Now that also puts some things into logic. For example, it could be Wolf 4, Bat at All Rocks 5, Spikebreaker 6. A lot of possibilities here, very uncertain.
And then, of course, don't forget that they did get Mist could also be on that same layer because it's also another form transformation. So, yeah, I'm liking this race. This is fun. Going to going to Creature, which we know has nada.
Now, Sugden should have a slightly easier time in the reverse library. Slightly higher level, slightly better gear. Hopefully doesn't die.
This is good.
Now, if you're Swarm here, after you do the farm, do you even bother going to Galamoth? Your weapons aren't that great. It would take a while. And in terms of sheer density, it's a terrible idea. So I'm thinking that save tells me Swarm is not planning to do that.
Hard to say, because, you know, being on the same, everything in this castle being on the same layer, what if it's like Silver Ring? We already have gold. You know, at this point, do you gamble everything on a possible it can't be there?
Maybe one more piece of bait for the road. It's definitely possible.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's a lot of damage. Thankfully, the Mournblade is going to keep Swarm safe. Okay, that's good. That's an above-average farm for Swarm. 2 Arcanas helping out a ton. Yep, and he's going to skip Galamoth as expected. He's out. I gotta tell you, I think Swarm is in a good position to win this. Once he picks up Ring Card, I think what you do is you just beeline for all the complexity checks.
Yeah, we're gonna see Bat, was it Soul of Bat check before he leaves the library, of course.
The early Castle 2 Gambit. Now, I see Fire in the chat. Shoutouts to Fire. Please come back soon. One of our best and most exciting players. A real innovator on the Castle 2 Gambit route. When it doesn't work out, it hurts. But in this seed, it might just get Swarm to the second set. Might be the difference maker. Now, on the flip side, I will say Sugden's route was very fundamentally sound. If he had gotten Bat or something like that, it would have made Castle 2 much faster. Even Wolf would have helped that a lot. But unfortunately, kind of a slow seed.
This race is the essence of, did you zig or did you zag? Sabers.
Echo could be complexity. That's true. Unfortunately, that is not Echo. That is Force of Echo.
Yeah, Echo, regular Echo was at...
Actually, it's the other one. It's the other useless relic. And not good. It's not the worst, though. It's not Fire of Bat.
Echo is yellow, Force of Echo is white. And then Fire of Bat is, like, red.
I think you'd agree, Cryo, right? If you had to pick one, Force of Echo is more useful than Fire of Bats.
Absolutely. It doesn't take mana to use. And could hit twice.
God, can it really double hit? That is some obscure trivia. It's also okay for breaking like pots.
Yeah, because since it comes from the base of the bat, if you're right on top of them when you use Force of Echo, it will hit a second time.
Oh my God! Sorry to interrupt you here, Cryo. Sugden really suffering from. Honestly, just a flaw with Sugden. I love Sugden, but not a perfect game. It does not read inputs well. So he was trying to get a Soul Steal. I'm sure his inputs were perfect, but because they were too fast, he got a Hellfire and a Dark Metamorphosis. Poor Sugden. Oh well, it happens to everybody, especially on D-pad.
So what does All Rocks have? Some puppy movement.
Fire in chat saying if you want a Soul Steal every time, spin the analog stick slowly twice. Is this sounds fake. Let me ask you though, what's the direction you start from? Is it back? And then roll clockwise? What's the deal? I'll have to try this. This sounds like the Sugden equivalent of wearing your lucky jersey before a sports game, but worth a shot. Okay, nothing here. So, Soul of Bat was empty. All Rocks was empty.
Starting to think that merman statue looking pretty nice. Those mana prisms are going to be very useful if they find Bat.
Okay, next up we got Silver Ring. Spike Breaker, where was it? That was Entrance, Power Wolf, right?
Yeah, which Swarm doesn't have that.
God, I'm a little nervous here. Swarm, of course, doesn't realize he's ahead, but
And this is where those mana prisms are going to be real nice if he needs it.
you know what? You're exactly right. That could actually save his life. Yeah, good point. But no, it's perfect. Textbook, classic Swarm.
That was beautiful. That was purtiful.
Oof.
I mean, that's flight, and that means that miss that he can easily get back, so...
The trouble for Swarm is that Sugden could very well handle this all in a completely different order and go down before going up, in which case Sugden is very much still in this game.
I commonly forget that Valhalla Knights can actually deal a lot of damage.
Yeah, quite a scary early game enemy for sure. So for Sugden, we know for a fact he will not be going to Galamoth. Sugden has all the info he needs to confirm. Galamoth's got nothing. Well, I say that, but there is that idea that Cryo had, which is maybe Silver Ring, which would be hilarious. But I think we're going to see a skip. Alright, time for Sugden's farm.
Nice crit, obviously.
If only the Spirit Orb was active. There was an idea, I'm curious, what do people think about this, you included, Cryo, of just having Spirit Orb be enabled by default in a future preset? What do you think?
I see no harm in it. It's nice knowing the damage you're dealing. It's... honestly, it doesn't help too much unless you know what, don't know what the weaknesses of the enemies are. But it's nice to see the numbers. Sometimes seeing a random crit for 200 when you're hitting for 30 is nice.
It's weird. The only two games in the series that have a relic attached to damage are Sugden, of course, and Harmony of Dissonance, which is trying really hard to be Sugden too. Other than that, though, it's all by default, so I think there'd be no harm in it either. I'd be fine with it either way. Okay, so Sugden's not getting the same kind of luck here. It was like 5th try for Swarm, with 0 for 10 or something for Sugden now.
And we do know that Sugden does have to go back for Diplo.
Oh dear. If this farm continues like this, Sugden might be running low on chances here.
Yeah, the longer this farm takes, the worse it is. I mean, that can be said about any farm, realistically, but...
Yeah, and to be fair, Sugden really benefited from getting Salem Witch randomly. So maybe it evens out. So far, the big difference maker has definitely been the routing divergence that has saved Swarm many, many minutes here, but Still, it hurts for Sugden. All right, it's gonna be this one. Easy.
There it is.
You're welcome.
So, yeah. Probably going to see a trip to Merman and then go from there.
So at this point, only 3 checks can even beat a complexity card, right? J, Spike Breaker, and then the funniest possibility.
Yeah,
Holy
the one
Glasses.
And if the Holy Glasses aren't at, if Silver Ring isn't at Gran after that, then funny prediction. Not me trying to curse the runners at all. If Ring is right here, things got grim. But we'll see. Oh.
As far as I can tell, we have not seen Grand Floon, have we? No, we did, right?
Nope.
No?
I don't think so.
Chat, did we see Grand Floon the Seed?
I think they got to, yeah, so, because Sug went to, I want to say Demon card and then went back.
We also haven't seen Bees.
Yeah, we haven't seen Bees, Gala, or everything's just.
All right, so here's the deal, everybody. Here's what's going on. If Spikebreaker has the Tooth card, Swarm has a commanding lead and will probably win unless these final farms are a train wreck, which, we've seen. If it's not at Spikebreaker, things are gonna get real spicy real quick. It's gonna have to be Silver Ring, and that could be anywhere from Bees to Galamoth, and I can't wait. So I'm rooting for that, but we'll see. It's gonna come down to Spikebreaker.
So we're gonna say a Salome farm.
Oh, insane farm
Wow.
for Sugden. Well, that makes up for the Frozen Half farm being quite bad.
Yeah, Aquadon Trio haven't been checked yet either. That is true.
Yeah, pretty much any
There's-
right side Castle 2 check has the potential to be Ring. Complexity Ring. All right, here comes Sugden. Not far behind all of a sudden. Oh, but it's going up here first. That makes sense. From Sugden's perspective, this makes sense. It's gonna be all rocks and then silver. If he had gone down, he would have been ahead all of a sudden.
Big up that library card. I like that.
It's not too bad yet, but it's getting there. There it is. Okay. Honestly, that was about average. Maybe slightly below, but pretty close to average. Interesting separate save here for Swarm. All right, Cryo, call your shot. What do you expect to see down here? Is it finally going to be the final card, or is it yet more baits?
I'm going to say bat. Just to be that.
Okay, it can't be bat. Can't be bat down here.
I mean, funny.
No, bat's required to get down here. Couldn't be bat.
No, I'm going to guess it's going to be a library card, honestly.
Okay, let's
Or
take a
maybe
look.
it's the Varda.
Okay, so...
Okay, so it's Tooth. Ectoplasm.
Ooh. This is going to be pretty nice for Swarm here. Yeah, you warp back, get Ectoplasm in the library, go down to Diplo, go win. Go reset the bracket. You know, Cryo, for the record, I have been pushing Medusa left side this whole tournament. It's nice to see it actually work out for somebody in a big way here. Right side Castle 2 was just a total disaster. Totally pointless. I mean, I'm sure Bat was over there, but who cares? The only chance left for Sugden now is a really bad Ectoplasm or a really bad Diplo. Yes, indeed, if the bracket resets, I don't want to get ahead of myself here. You know, I'm going to hold this until Ectoplasm. Hang on. Yes, Swarm check in the menu. Classic.
Ectoplasm holding out.
Okay, now it's looking really good for Swarm, yeah. So you'll notice there's a W next to Sugden's name and an L next to Swarm's name, so it's a double elimination bracket. Sugden already defeated Swarm in the winner's side of bracket, meaning that Swarm will have to win twice here. So if Swarm wins, which is looking very likely now, it's gonna take a miracle for Sugden. It's gonna be a bracket reset. We'll have a best of 3 to finally decide the winner and end this never-ending tournament. It's not like it's my fault, Cryo. This has been the never-ending tournament. I've been here. It's just everyone's going to game 3. We're getting resets. We got some IRL stuff. I think Swarm is going to a wedding or something. GG. Are you ready for the reset? It's coming. In like a week. What a game 3.
Bad Salome. Yeah, that made up for the bad Salome farm.
Yeah, on the whole, the luck was probably slightly in Swarm's favor. That Salem Witch Farm was...
Salem Witch, yeah, Salem Witch.
Pretty
I keep saying
mid.
Salem Witch, but that's the name of the witches in the...
Oh yeah, it's we know what you mean. It's easy to get those mixed up, but this was not determined by luck. This was 100% determined by routing. Swarm had the bold route. The early Castle 2 Gambit paid off spectacularly and is actually going to win him this first set of 2. No, I'm not sure. Should we have a post-match interview? Normally, we only do that with a decisive result. Technically, this isn't decisive, but I think we should. Cryo, if you are open to it.
Absolutely. I would love this. Like, this came down to routing, which, you know, the routes were fun to watch. Like, one was traditional, one was a gamble. And to be fair, Sugden's not that far behind comparatively.
Yeah, a couple of different breaks. Sugden could have absolutely won this one. Like, for example, if he had gone down before All Rocks, I think he might have a very slight lead right now. It would have been super close. Now, while we're waiting for Swarm to make it to Dracula, can I share something with you, Cryo?
You may.
I think you'll find this fascinating. Hopefully everyone in chat appreciates this lesson in Sogden. So, earlier in this set, we saw Swarm go for something crazy. He was able to do a mist-only rise in the Alchemy Lab, which I don't think we've literally ever seen before in a rando tournament. So I was curious about this. I asked Sestrin about how it works. I would like to read this verbatim. MP deduction for being in mist form happens on an 8-frame cycle. 10 plus frames between mist taps, that's double tapping the mist button, has no chance of being free. 9 frames has a 1 in 8 chance of being free. 8 frames is a 2 in 8 chance. 7 frames is a 3 in 8 chance. 6 frames, 4 in 8, blah, 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 blah. The TLDR on this, Cryo, if you are trying to climb with only mist, it works randomly. It works randomly based on the frame interval between the double taps. That is the jankiest thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's fun. That's funny.
See, anytime you try and climb up with mist, just know, even if your gameplay is perfect, you got somewhere between a 1 in 8 and a 7 in 8 chance of just not having the game cooperate.
Look at how close this is.
It's amazing, isn't it? I'm actually surprised how
Masafune.
close it is.
The difference being reverse library card.
Yeah.
So they're like right on top of each other, really.
I mean, Swarm is gonna win, but
Yeah.
God, if the farms were just a little bit different. Maybe I should take back what I said about this being decided by the route. The routing definitely helped, but that library card kind of equalized, didn't it? Oh my God! Well, now Swarm, hang on now, Swarm. Can't be doing that. All right, he's fine. Up, bonk. All these bonks matter. Okay. I'm gonna put my cards on the table, Cryo. I think this tournament has been going on for too long, and I will make some adjustments to the scheduling for next year. So it ends up being more like 2.5 months as opposed to 4 months. That having been said, having a bonus set between these two racers is really gonna be a treat to watch. So bear with us, couple more weeks to get this thing fully wrapped up, but I think it's gonna be worth the wait. And reminder, you can contribute to the prize pool. Any bits between now and the very, very end of the tournament will go towards the prize pool. We're approaching $3,700 right now. So it's going to be a big payday for the top 4. Yeah, this is closer than I was expecting, Cryo. Based on when Swarm got the final blood, that library card saved a ton.
We're coming up on time, though. Warblade with that attack potion. I think it's 2 cycles.
Time 57-13 for Swarm. My goodness. The never-ending tournament continues with a bracket reset. All right, Cryo, we are going to be having a post-game interview, hopefully, but what are your final thoughts on this game?
That was an absolute blast to watch. Execution on both sides was extremely good. The routing, I can't really say was bad for either of them. It was, traditional versus a gamble, and they kind of converged.
It's like a really close sporting event. There are like 10 or 20 things you can point to and say, okay, if that was different, if that shot went in or that block happened or whatever, could have been a different result. The routing made a big difference. The farm luck definitely made a difference. Some of the early item drops made a difference. You mentioned that Sugden had that early Arcana.
Yeah, so whoever said it was going to be 1 minute difference, it was exactly 1 minute different.
Wow.
If you the race tab says Swarm at 57.21, Sugden at 58.21, exactly 1 minute.
Okay, I am joined now by our winner, the Swarm, and Sugden, who is still in bracket, but now on the loser's side, along with Swarm. Welcome both.
Thank you.
Howdy.
How's it going?
So, where to begin, Cryo? Any questions for our racers here?
No questions. Like, I just want to. I honestly want to hear their ideas, like, because their routing was so different, and yet they were that close.
Yeah, Sugden was telling me he went down first instead of going second castle.
Yeah, about that, I actually feel like, in retrospect, as I was like halfway down, I thought, actually, I don't know if this is a good idea. Because I found Holy Glass's flight layer. I probably should have just chased complexity there and then, but I was thinking, let's try and go down to try and get a transformation first, or something like that, and there was 0 transformations I found at all in caverns or anything like that.
Yeah, it was
So
mentioned during the race
it
that
didn't work out too well for me.
if you had just found a random transformation, there could have been totally different. But instead, Swarm's bold Castle 2 routing paid off big. Now, Swarm, at the end of the seed, it was actually surprisingly close. You had to go back through the warp to get to the Dracula fight, whereas Sugden had 1 extra library card, and that saved like minutes of time. But yeah, how did you feel things were going in the moment?
I honestly thought stuff was going pretty well. The route kind of just worked out, We had to go up to Frozen Half anyways, so I was like, I'm just going to go Medusa left. We didn't have a transformation or a good way of getting to like all the way to bees or stuff, so I was like, I'm just going to do Medusa left. And yeah, that Mornblade drop was pretty clutch off of the Cave Trolls too.
Oh, you got Mornblade.
Yep.
I actually got a Nosferatu Katana right at the end, all the way at the end to fight Dracula with, and I was like, do I use this or do I use the Harper with the attack potion? But that was like, Mornblade would have been nice. Nosferatu was decent though.
Did you get the Varda?
No.
Oh yeah,
No, I
must have
had
been
a-
more right side stuff.
I had a Ring of Aries.
Oh, nice. That's good.
So it wasn't like horrible.
Yeah, but I was starting to feel bad when I found mist and all that, and I was like, and the transformation, and so I went to all rocks and silvering because I'm like, these are both valid, final complexity steps. I figured Spike Breaker was somewhere in second castle, but apparently it was entrance. So I figured I'd do that, then go down, and it worked.
I'm just I should have committed to it. As I was going through the warps after getting Spike Breaker at entrance, I was thinking, okay, let's go to second castle, and then I landed at the mines warp, and I was thinking I could do Spike Breaker out of logic, but I decided against it because I was like, I'll just go second castle. I should have done Spike Breaker out of logic. Oh, I would have finished this seed like 15 minutes earlier.
Yeah, I considered doing that, but I was like when I was thinking about going to second castle, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I could go down and check Spike Breaker because that's a potential, final Vlad spot. But at that point, it was like we didn't have rings, we didn't have mist, we didn't have merman, so it was like a little too. I was like, I mean, if you're down there, it made sense doing it, but if you weren't committed to doing that, then
Yeah, Sugden was able to find Spike Breaker at Power Wolf.
nice.
So that would have been perfect. Swarm, I'm guessing because, the lack of iframes, that would have been a little bit scary.
Yeah. If I had full wolf, then doing that would be much easier. But yeah, I for me it was more of like just like at that point it wasn't likely that I would actually be there, so I was like, I'm not even gonna bother at that point.
Well, we are going to be going to a second set. Now, we were talking about it during the broadcast. We were talking about it on the Discord. The never-ending tournament. It's got to end at some point, but we're going to have one more delay. I'll be in touch with you both about when we'll get those first couple of games scheduled. Swarm, I think it's going to be next week, right?
It's gonna be like. It's gonna be a bit because I'm gonna be at a wedding all next week, so TBD. I'll be back on the 20th, I believe. So hashtag never ending tournament continues.
Okay, so
Sorry,
let's ballpark it as 1 to 2 weeks. Then I think that's a little more accurate.
Yeah.
And remember, no rush. Real life always takes priority. But like I mentioned during the broadcast, it's going to be worth the wait. This has been an excellent start to Grand Finals. Can't wait for the second half.
yeah, for sure.
How about we quickly do some plugs here? I want to make sure that in the meantime, until we get this wrapped up, people can follow everybody, watch you both live. Sugden, let's start with you. Where can people find you?
Twitch.tv/Sugden_. That's underscore spelled out as a word, not as the symbol. That's where you can find me. I stream pretty much only when I'm racing and no other time.
So if you follow, you're always going to be catching a race. That's great. Good reason to follow. Swarm, what about you?
Yep, you can catch me at the _swarm, not spelled out the actual symbol. Yeah, I got plans for some future streams. It's just life has been busy lately, so I'll be back on a more regular schedule after the tournament. So.
And lastly, Cryo really enjoyed doing commentary with you today. Where can people follow you?
Twitch.tv/cryomonoxide. Do a lot of randomizers and multi-worlds.